Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a man inquiring about a gym. First, you have some time to look at the questions 1 to 5.
Good morning, Fitness Life Gym. How can I help you?
Yes, I've just moved to the area and I'd like to get some information about your gym.
Certainly. What would you like to know?
Firstly, I want to know what hours you are open. I want to come very early in the morning and I need a gym that opens early.
Well, sir, we never close. Fitness Life is open 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, so you can come as early as you like.
That's perfect. Do you have classes 24 hours a day too?
Not really. They are mainly during the day. There are very few classes during the night as we have no call for them. What type of classes would you be interested in?
I'd like to do some kind of cardiac class a few mornings a week. I find classes much more motivating than just working out by myself.
We have a wide selection of classes that go all day from 6 a.m. After 10 p.m. we only have a weights class at 2 a.m. and that's it between then and 6 a.m. It's popular with people who do shift work. Most of the people who do this class are in the restaurant business.
Well, that's a bit early for me, but a 6 a.m. start is what I was looking for. A lot of gyms in the area start at 7 a.m. and that's just too late for me as I have a bit of a commute to get to work.
Yes, we recently changed our timetable so we could accommodate people in the same position as you.
What type of qualifications do your staff have?
All of them have a university qualification in physical fitness, and many of them specialize in different areas such as weights training or distance running. We have 40 personal trainers on staff, and many of these are course instructors as well.
That sounds good. What are the membership fees?
We have 3 tiers of membership. They all provide the same facilities, but they are based on length of membership. You can be a 3-year, annual or monthly member. The first costs £50 a month. Annual membership is £60 per month and monthly is £70 per month.
Are there any extra sign-up fees?
Usually there is an extra £25 administration fee for signing up, but at the moment we have a special deal for new members that waives that fee, so it wouldn't cost you any extra.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
What kind of equipment do you have? At my last gym, we had to queue for the treadmills, and then we were limited to 20 minutes on them. Do you have the same policy?
Absolutely not. We have enough treadmills to accommodate everyone, even on days when the gym is full. We have 40 of them and 10 rowing machines.
The gym must be huge.
We have more than 400 square meters as we take up the entire second floor of the building. The building is called the Old Shoe Factory and is almost 150 years old.
Where is it? Is it in the centre of town?
It's not right in the centre, but on the edge of the old town, next to the railway station at 116 Spring Street. The building has been converted into a small shopping centre, so when you come to the gym, you can also do your supermarket shopping at the same time.
Can I enroll online?
For members who want to renew or update their membership, there is a page on our website that they can access to do this. But for first-time members, we ask that they come in to see the gym to decide if they want to become a member. You would need to sign a contract to get membership, so you can't do that online.
So, do I need to book a time?
You can come in at any time between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., and the reception staff will show you the gym.
OK, I'll come in on Thursday for a look around then. That's the only day I can manage this week, so I'll have to make a note to myself. Thank you very much for all the information. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a police officer talking about new traffic rules. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
I'd like to introduce local police officer Sergeant Ronald Baker, who is going to tell us about the new road rules in this town and some old ones that you are possibly not aware of. What are the new rules, Sergeant?
Thank you for having me here today. There are quite a few new road and traffic rules that some people might not be aware of. The first of which is the new system for cars in the centre of town. Apart from those of residents and cars driven by the disabled, the only private cars that can be driven in the central zone of the city are electric vehicles. This rule came into force last weekend, and it seems many people are not yet aware of it, as we have pulled over more than 500 people trying to enter the town in petrol-driven cars. At the moment, we are just giving warnings, but from the beginning of next week, there will be a £100 fine for any unauthorised petrol cars found trying to enter the city. Residents of the centre have been given 3 years to purchase an electric car, and they must prominently display their resident badge on the windscreen of their car at all times. Taxis will also have to upgrade to electric within 3 years. Cars registered as vintage are also included in the ban. Next month, we are starting a tree planting program in some areas of the centre which were previously available for parking. This is part of the local council's new city greening program. Parking in the centre has been restricted even for electric cars. In the 3 main streets, Finley, Buckingham and Waterloo Streets, there is no parking allowed at all. Traffic is still able to drive through the streets, but there is no parking. There is an exception for delivery vehicles, which can park for 10 minutes only.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 15 to 20.
There are also some new speed limits. For 500 meters on either side of hospitals and schools, the new speed limit, which was previously 20 miles an hour, will be 10 miles an hour. The signs have all been changed, so keep an eye out for the new speed limits. It is now compulsory for all dogs in the car to be belted into position. Larger dogs can use regular seat belts, but smaller dogs in cars to be belted into position. But smaller dogs and cats must be contained in carrier boxes. No dogs can roam freely within a car. This rule came about not only because some animals within cars were causing accidents because they were distracting drivers, but also in many accidents, animals have caused injury to passengers. Also, in addition to children, now no animals are to be left alone in cars. If this occurs, police officers now have the power to break the windows of cars to release them. There are also new pedestrian rules for the streets, which have trams in them. It is now forbidden to cross the road except at traffic lights or pedestrian crossings. 40 new pedestrian crossings have been installed around the town centre, and the fine for crossing the road incorrectly is £60. With all these new pedestrian crossings, the traffic police are coming down hard on drivers who do not stop for pedestrians. 50 new bicycle parking racks have been placed around the street, and more are yet to come. This is because the new bicycle parking regulations means that bicycles can no longer be chained to lampposts and railings, and parking is restricted to bicycle racks. This law has been brought in because many badly parked bicycles were blocking access to disabled people in wheelchairs. If there are not enough bicycle racks in your area, you are asked to contact the local council online and inform them of where there is an absence of bicycle parking space. And a reminder to all people who own skateboards, roller skates, mini scooters. These and any unregistered road vehicles other than a bicycle or wheelchair are not allowed to be used on roads or pedestrian pavements. The only places where they can be legally used are on bicycle lanes. The fine for breaking this rule is £60. Oh, and by the way, a very important new rule that everyone should be aware of is that all cyclists must now wear regulation helmets. In the past, it was just for children under 16, but now the rule is in effect for everyone on a bicycle, no matter their age or experience.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You hear three students, Roslyn, James and Margie, telling their tutor about a music video they are making as a university project. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Roslyn, James and Margie, how are you going with your project for making a 3-minute music video? Have you chosen the music yet, Roslyn?
Yes, Margie is in a band called The Breakdown, so we are using one of the songs written by the guitarist in the band. None of the band members were too keen on being in a video, but as Margie is the lead singer, our video can just feature her, and that should work fine, we think.
How do you feel about that, Margie? Won't being cast in the video mean you do less work on it?
I don't think so. I should be able to still be very involved, particularly helping James in the post-production process.
What are your specific roles in the making of this video? James, you first.
As there are only 3 of us, we all need to get involved in every part of the process. Margie has the most music experience, and especially as it is her brand's music we are dealing with, she is going to be controlling the whole vision of the project, how the images relate to the sound. Rosalind is going to be in charge on the day of shooting, but we will both be handling the camera and lighting. I'll be managing the post-production, though I expect the others to be heavily involved as well.
How far along on the project are you so far, Rosalind?
We are planning to shoot it next Tuesday, but we have pretty much completed post-production. The song itself was already recorded some time ago, so we haven't had any work to do there. Firstly, we got together to come up with ideas for the video. The music itself is a slow-tempo love song, so we decided the video should be a narrative rather than a series of special effects, which would be more suited to a fast-paced dance video. We thought the song had quite a country feel, and there is a lot of Celtic music elements, so we imagined it in a rural atmosphere. We thought it felt right to shoot it on an old farm in the fields. Then we decided that it might add interest if Margie was wearing historical costume. So we are setting the video at the beginning of the 20th century during the First World War.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30.
So, what is the story, if there is one? Margie?
The woman is singing about her husband, who is away at the war. The song itself is about the fear of losing love, so it fits in quite well. To make it clearer, there'll be a letter from him and a photo of a man in an army uniform. Anyway, here is the storyboard that we have already done on this tablet here. As you can see, we have illustrated each shot we are going to do and marked how long it will be and at what point the cuts would come in.
We have decided to use soft lighting and minimal camera work to convey stillness, and wide landscape shots to show the woman's loneliness. These marks here show the camera placement.
The storyboard is very well done. I can clearly see where you are going with this. Where are you shooting the film?
My uncle has given us permission to film it on his farm.
Margie, you certainly have been a useful resource, providing the music and the location.
We are making the most of what we have. The weather forecast says skies will be clear in the early part of next week, so we have booked a camera, light reflectors and stands, and some props and a costume for Tuesday. We are also bringing a portable speaker to help me if we decide I need to lip-sync any part of the song. We hope to film all day from very early in the morning. The benefit of using my uncle's farm as the location is that it is nearby and we can return if necessary the next day. But that would only happen if there were problems with the weather.
After that, we will go into post-production by taking everything we have filmed into the editing suite here in this building. We have booked a computer with film editing software, and we are going to work on this all together. At that stage, we'll put together all the scenes in the order of the storyboard and add in any overlays, screen graphics, or effects at that time.
So, when will you be able to show me a finished product?
Hopefully in about 2 weeks.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to Part 4.
You will hear a part of a lecture about NASA's use of fungi in construction in space. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Science fiction often imagines our future on Mars and other planets as run by machines, with metallic cities and flying cars rising above dunes of red sand. But the reality may be even stranger and greener. Instead of habitats made of metal and glass, NASA is exploring technologies that could grow structures out of fungi to become our future homes in the stars, and perhaps lead to more sustainable ways of living on Earth as well. NASA is prototyping technologies that could grow habitats on the Moon, Mars, and beyond out of life, specifically fungi. Ultimately, the project envisions a future where human explorers can bring a compact habitat built out of lightweight material with dormant fungi that will last on long journeys to places like Mars. Upon arrival, by unfolding that basic structure and simply adding water, the fungi will be able to grow around that framework into a fully functional human habitat, all while being safely contained within the habitat to avoid contaminating the Martian environment. This research is part of a field known as synthetic biology, the study of how we can use life itself as technology. In this case, fungi. Fungus is a group of organisms that produces spores and eats up organic material, like the yeasts in bread or beer, the mushrooms in salad, the mold that may grow if you let that salad sit in the refrigerator for too long, or even the organisms that produce antibiotics like penicillin. But the part of a fungus you probably haven't seen is mycelia. These tiny threads build complex structures with extreme precision, networking out into larger structures like mushrooms. With the right conditions, they can be coaxed into making new structures, ranging from a material similar to leather to the building blocks for a Mars habitat. This architectural project can't be just designing a shell, it's designing a home. That home is more than a set of walls. It has its own ecosystem of sorts, with multiple kinds of organisms alongside the humans it's designed to protect. Just like the astronauts, fungal mycelia is a life form that has to eat and breathe. That's where something called cyanobacteria comes in, a kind of bacterium that can use energy from the sun to convert water and carbon dioxide into oxygen and fungus food. These pieces come together in an elegant habitat concept with a three-layered dome. The outermost layer is made up of frozen water ice, perhaps tapped from the resources on the Moon or Mars. That water serves as a protection from radiation and trickles down to the second layer, the cyanobacteria. This layer can take that water and photosynthesize using the outside light that shines through the icy layer to produce oxygen for astronauts and food for the final layer of mycelia. The last layer of mycelia is what organically grows into a sturdy home, first activated to grow in a contained environment and then baked to kill the life forms, providing structural integrity and ensuring no life contaminates Mars and any microbial life that's already there. Even if some mycelia somehow escaped, they will be genetically altered to be incapable of surviving outside the habitat. But this is just the start. Mycelia could be used for water filtration and biomining systems that can extract minerals from wastewater. Another project active in the NASA labs, as well as bioluminescent lighting, humidity regulation, and even self-generating habitats capable of healing themselves. And with about 40% of carbon emissions on Earth coming from construction, there is an ever-increasing need for sustainable and affordable housing here as well. The harsh environments of the Moon and Mars will require new ways of living, growing homes instead of building them, mining minerals from sewage instead of rock, but by turning to the elegant systems of our own natural world, we can design solutions that are green and sustainable, whether on distant worlds or our own ever-changing Earth. Fungi could be what brings us boldly into the future.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.